me the part of the century. I've lost my voice. I couldn't keep up with the Brazilians. They're just too damn much. We've had the very first of our maps. It's time for map 2. Are you ready? We are heading to Inferno. It's 1-0 Team Liquid. Can they make it 2? Let's head to our casters one more time. Make some noise, Brazil! Over to you, Scrawny and Launders.
I can feel that vibration through the walls, through the floor, through my heart to the core. It is Astralis and Liquid on Inferno. And you know what? That interview with Nafly goes 2 ways. But first of all, I've got to say, that was the most energetic Nafly interview I've ever seen in my life.
I love it. He's using his hands.
Props to Frankie. Yeah. She got it out of him.
I mean, he plays pool. He's got the haircut.
Yeah, he's just got it all.
Now he's got the personality. He is killing it.
But he's not a liar. He's being honest. You know, we haven't practiced it much. We know it's going to be a challenge coming into Inferno. And I like that, you know, they're being honest with themselves. They're not putting that bar too high. That means that if they do lose this, they shouldn't be too crushed in terms of mentality.
Don't get this far by being dishonest to yourself.
That's
of
true.
all people, right? You know, to be the best, you've got to take long, hard looks at yourself, figure out what you're doing wrong, fix those problems, and then it's good that that comes across in interviews. We're going to go ahead right into the match now on Inferno.
Yeah, I don't want to wait.
It's in my opinion, even though he said that, I'm going to say that they still have, I would put it at 35-40% chance of actually securing this, and that is still above many other teams on Inferno. Liquid have a fantastic Inferno. One of the only Infernos I would say is not overrated, and even though it is lesser played right now, they might come in fresh and who knows, be able to take Astralis till the later rounds, if not the end. But the one thing I would say is if it does come to those later rounds, you just hope that they aren't surprised and are more ready to take that opportunity as opposed to think about map 3 too early.
Right, with the pressure being off, you know, they may find themselves in a better position than they really do expect. You don't need to practice Inferno to do that.
That's true, yeah.
Hell of a headshot.
That's
See you later, device.
You know.
Nitro, dual Berettas. 2 guns better than 1, but, well, he's damaged early. Normally, when he goes into this buy, he actually plays top banana, and he'll play behind half wall with somebody supporting him closer towards CT cross.
One of the biggest issues for Team Liquid when they played against ENCE was it was basically Stewie and Naf took turns dying whenever it was going to be like a B hit. And that was it. ENCE kept controlling banana, kept killing one of the 2, putting the other in an awkward situation. They get 1 kill versus a B exec with 2 ready to defend. So if that's a problem they can solve, that's going to be a big way that they can look good on Inferno.
Bro, Nitro's got Berettas, and he's going to have 3 players running straight at him. Now, he is tagged low, so maybe he gets swept under the rug immediately. Maybe he just rattles off all these shots. There's a lot of bullets in those mags. There's a lot of players towards this A site. Twist and Elige here to support the defense, but Twist gets blinded by the flash as he holds off Graveyard. Nitro cleared immediately. So those Berettas not a threat. Dupree, in fact, clearing Twists, leaves just Elige within the site. Nafly, late rotation, 2v4. Excellent execution here from Astralis. They just strangled Liquid out of the site.
Yeah, a very common pistol strat that they love to do. There's not a lot you can do about it. They're executing through a smoke. You know that they're in holes, but you've got nothing that can wallbang them. You're low on utility, so you can't molly them out or throw these like high concentration HE grenades into that long haul area. And so you've just got to wait for them to come out, and it can be kind of messy for them to jump out of the smoke. You don't know which directions they're going to go, although they are kind of calculated. Like, there is method to the madness there. But Xyp9x, as we saw, like just coming out, running along the railing, and then shooting in that direction, just in case. And because Nitro was so low, he dies. I mean, there's not much else to it. He didn't have to know that he was there to realize that it cost me nothing to shoot a few bullets on an assumption, on a hunch, and it ends up being the correct decision. So there it is. Stewie and Naf end up saving in that previous map. Liquid did win the first pistol. That helped them prop up their side. And in a situation like this where they already don't feel as confident on the map, you know, pistols are also going to be extremely pertinent win conditions. Although the impact of pistols has been lessened quite significantly a couple updates ago. So at the moment, I believe we've got to pause, just everyone holding on for a second, and they're going to talk about things.
Little mouse problem for Dupree yet again.
Yeah.
For the record, Elige, nice guy, offers to restart pistol. Astralis says, nay, nay.
Honestly, an absolute gentleman. I mean, the most charitable player that I've ever heard speak.
There you have it, Dupree just popping heads. Yeah, a little excitement out of device, but not too much.
Get the rust off, get the confidence back, get back in the game. And yeah, they're still kind of maybe looking for a mouse replacement in case their mouse is going to continue to be on the fritz. No problem. We'll get back into the game soon.
And you and I both use wireless mice, correct?
Yeah, but I still use a mouse bungee.
Have you tried? What's attached to it? It's just there for your confidence sake.
I'm like an old man in that way.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there behind my mouse pad. Not going to mention any brands, obviously, but it's a great mouse bungee. I like how it looks, too. It's kind of aesthetic, but it is a little weird that it's just sitting there.
I was going to say, have you gone back to having to use a wired mouse at all ever since? To me, going from wireless back to wired is the same as going from 144 hertz back to 60.
No, but I do have wired AirPods.
Those are just
And I'm also an old man for that.
regular headphones, right?
And they work amazing.
Well, they're not headphones, actually. They're earbuds. What do I know?
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, wireless is great. Wireless is great. There's a...
Okay, controversial opinion.
Go for it.
Wireless keyboards are useless.
Yeah, but what if you're like in your bed eating chips and you want to have it on your lap while you watch some episodes of The Sopranos?
That seems oddly specific.
Well,
Waters.
I wouldn't know who would ever do that, you know. But also, I'd see that as a very common scenario. I think many people would actually partake in. I don't have a wireless keyboard, so it wasn't me.
I just feel like, you don't move your keyboard, so why does it need to be wireless, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not rolling around like a mouse would.
You ever
So
had
I'm just a critic.
You ever had one of your peripherals go out of whack and then you had to figure out how to do everything with one or the other? Like how to log in to Windows with just your mouse, or to do everything with your keyboard?
I got pristine computer performance.
Oh yeah,
okay?
you're
No
super
issues.
clean, super hygienic. You
Yeah.
take care of everything. We get it, okay?
Yeah. I'm not eating chips in bed.
Okay.
My mouse,
Whoa,
keyboard,
chill,
watching
all right?
Sopranos.
I don't drop any crumbs.
I bet you suck them up after. like a little vacuum
Yeah,
cleaner in
that's
the
right.
sheets.
Yeah, that's what they call me, vacuum cleaner. In the sheets. Yeah, okay. So hopefully the mouse can get replaced soon so we can spare you the banter. Sucks that we haven't gotten farther ahead than just a pistol.
Right.
But there is
Talk about.
there is a ton to talk about just without like the actual context of this match.
Yeah.
For Astralis. Let's like for example, what are Liquid going up against when they're facing Astralis?
I mean, you're talking about one of the most legendary rosters, arguably in all of Counter-Strike, right?
True, yeah.
There's only no player, no team has ever won 4 majors.
Okay.
The core of Astralis have now won 3.
Okay.
Right. So that puts them on par with the old MIBR/SK roster. What else have they done? I mean, we've got a little sheet here. This is the Astralis stats and fun facts brought to you by one Dus Murray.
That's right.
Let's see.
Don't pronounce the T Moray.
No, that's the trap. Let's see. In the 18 events Astralis has attended, Device has won 7 HLTV MVP awards.
7.
Dupree has won a single HLTV MVP
A whole
award.
one.
Magisk has won 2. Zipix was close
200% increase.
at the major. Zipex was close at the major, but didn't quite get it. Would you agree in the fact that Astralis just have the best map pool in all of Counter-Strike?
Yes.
100%?
By far.
That's unarguable.
No, I mean,
Nuke, just ridiculous win streak. Inferno, the odds so far in their favor. And like we said, right, Dust 2 is like the map that teams are trying to play against them, and even their win ratio there is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that maybe this weekend they would have lost a couple, but no. They lost rounds on it. Nothing, never anything further.
Yeah.
Mohan.
So we look at the other impressive part about the Inferno that's not as talked about as often is the fact that they have the most amount of wins on the most competitive map in CSGO.
Right?
Inferno. It is played by every Tier 1 team. You ban Inferno, you are a moron. I mean, you have to be able to play it to some level, especially at the Tier 1. And and the fact that they're able to have a win streak on that map in specific, Nuke is a very, very strange map for teams to focus on, especially if they've got a roster that's only been around for 4 to 6 months. They might not adopt Nuke unless they have all of their players like love it, for example. It's a map you keep as like your 5th or 6th map most of the time. And Astralis can have that to like screw you over because you know that you're forced to ban it versus them. But then they have Inferno, which is a map, the most competitive map, a map that everyone knows inside out, a map that was literally played. I don't even know, there's incredible stats on how many times Inferno was played at multiple majors, especially this new iteration of the map, which is one of the best maps, first of all, that Valve have put out as a new iteration, like that has barely had to have been changed since they re-released it. Hit the ground running, looks beautiful, plays wonderfully, and has survived all of the slight and nuanced meta changes that we've seen.
Yep, that's a fair point.
Yeah, and it's just and again a map that people really understand, especially the best teams in the world. So to have the streak on this map is almost as impressive, if not even more impressive than the Nuke one, in my opinion.
You know what's also impressive, Mohan? That Astralis led 2018 in almost all team categories, and they still are here in the current year. You know, this includes the round win percentage with a note for a special CT side, success in opening duels, highest 5v4 conversion rate, highest 4v5 conversion rate.
Insane.
And that's something that you said, obviously, like if you're gonna win championships, not only do you have to make sure that you're always winning your 5v4 advantages, but you always need a little 4v5 or 2 here and there.
You could be playing a totally competent team, but some of those wins are versus totally competent teams.
Correct.
Ultimately, you are at a disadvantage in a 4v5, but you've got to be able to win those once in a while to be able to be that consistent at majors, etc. I mean, they're low percentage rounds, but they still have to happen, and you can make a really good team look dumb if you are smart enough and are greater than the sum of your parts with the remaining members of your team when you're at a disadvantage.
And I think one of the more impressive stats, too, with Astralis is just their amount of utility damage, right? Like, this is a common conversation now where it's just like they have completely redone utility usage in Counter-Strike. Like, they took it to a whole new level, and I think that teams are now having, like, it's a mandatory aspect of your gameplay that you have to include if you're going to take the best off.
Which is so funny, right? It's like, you know, that was there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not reinventing the wheel to be, good with HE grenades. But figuring out how to make the most of them is definitely one of the things that brought on the Astralis era.
I would say that me personally, and I think it's relative to this event because they were finishing this in 3rd place, I think ENCE is one of the teams who has impressed me the most in terms of trying to replicate what Astralis has done with utility damage. Their grenades are as well on point. And I think it's because ENCE and Astralis play a similar brand of Counter-Strike in a way. And with that in mind, I'd hope that going forward we see just more and more teams like this because you're not reinventing the wheel, but if everybody gets a new set of wheels, all of a sudden the whole town's decked out.
Right.
I'm talking mags.
And then you're riding dirty.
Spinners.
Yeah, exactly.
Riding nerdy.
Riding nerdy. Yeah, that'll be your new. You can start an org, call it riding nerdy. That would be good. What do you think about that?
Well,
there's look like slight disgust on your face.
It's because I know you don't like Weird Al, but you know, Weird Al is it's white and nerdy. Riding dirty, white and nerdy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
I've heard of it. So in the trivia department, I would have been able to keep up with you. No problem.
But let's go. We survived.
Wait,
okay.
Can we pause the game? I want to banter some more. You know, let's just hold it back for another 10 minutes. Just kidding, guys. We're gonna go right back into this. 1-0 for Astralis, and it's Liquid, I guess, on the back foot, if you can say it that way already. 3 players stacked up on the left side of mid, depending on whose perspective you're thinking about. And Astralis just working on slowly engulfing the halls in flames as they work on flushing anybody out in case they want to get into it, or in case they just want to shy people away from it and make them think they're getting into it. Arch control has now been taken, and Stewie is the first line of defense.
He's not going to overcommit to this. Stu blocks him off with a smoke. They will linger near it, but no commitments made. In fact, they're going to rotate back away.
Rotation heavy. Smoke's going to dissipate soon. Might be good timing for Astralis. Was a second one popped by the CTs there? I'm not exactly sure.
Yes, sir, it was.
Find out. Yeah, there it is. So Nafly.
Good timing. You're going to see Nitro and Stewie actually get into position.
Yep. And they're reclaiming halls to make sure Astralis aren't there. So there's 3 players now perusing their way over to B. This is not going to be an easy anti-eco, folks.
Zipex could even get caught towards mid. Bomb's going to double back once more. Magisk comes towards it. Ali, she's going to hear all this footsteps above him, but at what point does he strike? Because he wants to kill these players, but the ones behind him could easily take him just like that. Oh, he just gets mowed down. Twist is back towards Pit, has the high road, has the first kill. And a dink on top of it, but Magic still bests him. Glaive towards Arch side. Gonna serve as a flank around Stewie. Nafly, caught by device, doesn't clear his corners, and Nitro's been heard. So an unfortunate turn of events here for Team Liquid. They did have some positioning, but I feel like it all begins to unravel when Elige gets caught in the tunnel.
That is a crazy rotate for Astralis to make. They had to be absolutely certain that the jig was up. Once that smoke boomed in their face, you think, oh my god, is Glaive's gonna go for the knife? Oh my god, there's no honor here. They go for a stab apiece, and then it's back to guns, but who's gonna win? Stewie or Glaive? It looks like Glaive, just by the skin of his teeth, an extra 10 health, and he's elated. Probably very good place to be in right now. Funny attempt there with the left click, just to alarm him. Okay, pull your sword out, brother. But that was an incredibly difficult decision for Elige to make. He hears that many footsteps going over, but he can't actually get confirmation on the ones that have passed or how many have already passed, if there have been. So he tries to find a good timing. He could have waited, you know, until he was confident about 5, but sometimes that would have been too long and he would have looked equally as dumb. So you can't blame him for popping his head out there. Yeah. So it was a pretty good attempt, but Astralis making that heinous last-second rotation back is not characteristic of them. Liquid forced them into a very difficult situation, and they still managed to find a way out, which is crazy.
There's a Zeus on the field for Stewie. After that knife fight, you know, he's not going to bring another knife to the game.
No. A long-range knife. I almost forgot what a Zeus sounds like.
Oh, don't worry, I'll remind you.
Okay.
If it happens.
If it happens.
You can't jump the gun.
How about if it doesn't happen?
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I don't know if you deserve it yet.
Let's see.
Zipex doubles back.
Yeah, CTs are swarming the alt and the twist, but wow. Chimes in with the double think CZ. Zipic's got a lot to do, and he's tough. He's stuck in between 2 CTs. The USP comes out, Twist will come out for the trade. And he does manage it 3v3.
Yeah, it's a little something more to work with. Stewie hoping, praying inside of the church for the construction push, but not gonna happen. Glaive goes off CT spawn, tags Nitro down low, but there's a player towards spawn, and that's perfect. Glaive gets so blinded on that one that he offers himself up. This is gonna draw Device back towards the top of Banana. Now, I mean, come on, the health advantage, the weapons, the armor, the time, it all plays into the favor of Astralis. The CTs are here, and that MP5 starting to get dry. 3 quick kills to the favor of Astralis. 3 quick rounds as well.
Yeah, no, the round was definitely not over. Obviously, as we saw in that 2v3, really well done, and there was a lot to do there for Liquid. But they're forcing these fights. They're making it difficult. They're bringing it to the final few yards every single time, and that's a great sign. Now, we'll get to see Team Liquid on CT side with all of the guns they want. They don't actually have an op, which might be something there. The only issue with that is that Stewie, if he's going to be opping over at B, he won't be able to easily let his team rotate out now because he only has the rifle. It's going to be more of a 2-3 situation, if not 3-2, over towards the B site. And here we have the Banana Flambe. All the fire comes out, and there's a little bit left over for Astralis to just make sure that they can't re-aggress the top of it. And in fact, a second to help them gain further ground.
So much transitioning, though, going on with Liquid at the moment through spawn over towards library side. That opens a window of opportunity for Astralis to strike, of which they did not. And with bomb back towards T-ramp, I mean, that indicates, of course, they're leaving their options open. There's so much time to play. Last time these teams matched up on Inferno, it was a 16-4 victory for Astralis. And I mean, not even close, you know? Like, kind of like a masterclass that maybe plays into what Nafly was expecting in his interview.
A map that maybe took a little bit longer than the major final. Like, that's, you know, it's just how good they are, obviously. So now that Astralis have moved their way up to the top of Banana, cut noise almost completely, are now, well, it's now the CTs who are at the mercy of them. When do they want to exec? There's not a CT that's pushing. There's not enough map control here for the CTs. I always harp on that, and they seem to be extremely timid at the moment. Oh, I thought that was one of the CTs peeking down the corner of the smoke. Heart almost dropped.
Not the case. Molotov deep. It's going to force Stewie's feet.
Holy smokes. Jeez.
Yeah, only 19 HP. Glaive's gonna be that first point of contact. He does go down, but so do the defenders. Stewie and Nafly only catching 1 kill in the process. 15 seconds up is plenty of time for Astralis to get the bomb down, and like we said, a very timid Team Liquid towards that A site means late rotation, which also means easy save call.
A good team is a team that appears to be in superposition. A team that you feel like is in halls when they're not in halls. That feels like they have banana control when there's no one there. Feel a team that has phantom presence all over the map at all times in your mind. You know, that's the true definition of fear, and that is what Astralis is so good at, especially on Inferno, where in that situation, they stood almost 5 players on banana for like 30, 40 seconds of the entire round. Took it patiently, spent a lot of nades there, but there was not a single rotation from Liquid. There was not a single re-aggression from Liquid. In fact, the CTs haven't moved since that point. They've stayed on the site. There's not a fast rotate in store for them. They had absolutely no map control, no information, no read to be made safely. And, you know, one of the reasons that Na'Vi could always take them close on Inferno, funnily enough, is because they randomly gamble stack without looking for information. The real issue, the real pain point, is when a CT team tries to look for information and loses a player doing so. The problem is that that is a necessary win condition to do versus a good team a la Astralis, obviously.
Right.
So, you know, you've got to be in hall sometimes. You've got to be peeking mid. You've got to be re-aggressing when you hear grenades. And if those don't happen, I mean, this T side is going to get away from Liquid quickly, quicker than we'd ever expect.
Well, talking about that apps aggression, here comes Astralis. Masking it with their own wall spam from the depths of all mid. Zipex sprays close though, so that's going to indicate to Team Liquid that sure enough, Astralis are in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice
You
spam.
almost never see the reverse wallbang spam.
All right, Alish. We see you. Still chewing gum.
This is great. This is what CT now the MO for CTs is to get as much damage in without seeing a player as possible. That is the early round. That's banana, that's mid, there's the nade that bounces off the skybox into alt, that's the reverse spam into halls, that's the Molotov, the very expensive incendiaries you use to trap device at the bottom of banana. This is your main goal. And you have to hope that it works.
Giving away a little bit more control, Astralis. Peering through brackets. Liege is going to look to take this back with a smoke grenade to cover. Device still floating down to the bottom of mid. I feel like Team Liquid are doing a good job of kind of, you know, welcoming Astralis closer, but then also taking back anything they've just given up.
They still have a decision to make. They're holding on to mid, they're playing with it, they're tethering off each other, but
Great
look,
flash.
one person has already made it. The CZ is not good enough to get the kill, and Magus with the 180 spray transfer takes the face off of Stewie. And I'm surprised he didn't disconnect off that kill, because that is absolute embarrassment. That's crazy from Magus.
He's contractually obliged to stick around. He's going to have to wallow in his sorrows for the remainder of this one. Bomb planted with 5 seconds to spare. Nitro not going to have anything to do with this. So this is yet again Team Liquid being forced into the save towards A, and it's not going to come for free. They will most certainly be hunted, not only from the B bomb site, but remember that Dupree already resides in the apps. An aggressive tenant has been taken down, and now it is just the Liege left over. So this looks like the clean sweep from Astralis, and that would put them on fire, folks. The 5-0 start to the T side of their very own map choice.
Crazy. On fire already. Truly fantastic stuff. I mean, Magus was working alone, a total mercenary in that situation, working into B. He's like, I'm going to get a kill. I'm going to cause a rotate. If I die, we'll still probably win, because I'm already here, and we have 4 players over at A. If Liquid are suddenly worried about this B play, I mean, look at this, man. Just nasty. He even,
I mean, to be fair,
clicks to the left. He's on the, he's on like his, 11th, 12th bullet. He's starting to go up to the right, and he still adjusts accordingly. It's beautiful.
Stewie should have had that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, the 100%. CZ, I think the CZ should have had that too. They both did so, I mean, the CZ did so much damage, and then Stewie couldn't get that bullet in. But still. If that happened, we wouldn't have seen that amazing spray transfer,
So let him die.
through the smoke.
Stewie just behind the car box. Down goes Aliege. That was over on A. A duel 1 from Boiler Door. Magus close. Oh my.
Dude.
Just delete Stewie 2K, but these 2 kills go back each way for both the teams, and we're left in an even keel. However, the advantage to Astralis, they can play shoulder to shoulder. Nafly's position will be smoked off, leaving him stranded in the back of construction. Has to be aware of the potential flank from spawn.
Oh man, if they wait too long, this bomb goes down. That rotate is forever. I mean, Naf has decided to play retake, and now his teammate is coming over. Bomb gets tapped, but it's safe on top of the grill.
He's gonna have to go for the reload as Nitro does arrive, but it's an op on the retake from spawn.
This comes down to if Nitro clears this.
They've left Dupree towards banana, Device behind the pillar. That is minimal cover, but it does give him an angle. So he's already posted, anticipating Nitro's peak. Does it go his way? Absolutely. Device, in fact, grabs both and continues the streak of Astralis. Even in the 2v2s, they've got Liquid's number.
So damn sick by Device. Really nice opening kill. I mean, Nitro, it was so fast. Nitro didn't even have time to panic shoot. It was just a great peek by him. The setup was strong. It was kind of a situation where if one person dies, the other one's at such a big risk. Like, Device is technically out in the open. He's behind the pillar, but he can't fall back to emo without exposing himself or get the quad safely. He just has to rely on that one thin piece of brick or whatever the hell that is. And for his teammate, on banana,
push.
he was on the left side of it.
Big mid push. Nitro and Elite is just gonna go charging straight downwards, but there is a gap in the smoke, so Device is happy for them to arrive. Oh, Nitro, this could be his doom. Yeah, sure enough. They have wind as to what's up. But Stewie, here's one climb up into the apartments, gets the dink, not the kill. He almost went full JDM as he tilted backwards in his chair, angry that he couldn't finish the kill. Dupree lucky to be alive on 11.
As we can see from the map, you're not missing anything. 2 players up, both of them at A. B is wide open for the taking. Astralis can move towards it. And it's another reason that this is so crazy. It feels like there's more. It's the scariest place to. It's one of the scariest maps to anti-eco on because the rotation from A to B is so incredibly long. There's not 2 routes into B as well, and that just makes things extremely stressful. Working up top mid versus a 4-stack pistol, we've seen how that plays out sometimes. The fact that you can crossfire in B with a boost as well as like a number of spots where all of the CTs can be totally spread out evenly is also just incredibly stressful, and that's why you've got to play it slow, even in the 5v2 situation. So another clean anti-eco round from Astralis. Economy's looking very strong at the moment. And Liquid, will they be back on a buy after this one? Full loss bonus, and they save. They spent half of their money here. If we just look at what they've got left over, we'll see. Yeah, they should be fine. But has anyone decided to save for the ability to op? And also, what new look are they going to bring to the table? They've fought B. I mean, they've showed up to the fight.
Yeah.
They just haven't seen it all the way through.
Exactly.
Stewie did get 1 spam kill through the smoke on Banana, and then after that they fell off and they fall back into this hold, right? Astralis, they love bullying one site. They just always make it seem like they're going to go back to another site by normally playing their anti-ecos over to other sites. But you can bet that they're going to be at B doing these same full execs that are working for them over and over again, maybe with slight changes. And what's Liquid's response to that? Are they going to play 3B and hope that they can instead have 2 players hold a much bigger site with way more entry points? Or are they going to try to fight Banana early, take control of bottom Banana, which is, you know, something most teams won't dare to do, and then from there hope to control the pace more, because classic CT side Inferno is holding on to Banana control, having a person at the bottom of logs with the smoke down that he can later refresh, and then having 4 CTs at A, and then making either site equally difficult to get into. But in this situation, B is clearly the easier site.
Yeah, they've had no problems with it. Not at all. Like you said, that one time Stewie comes around for the aggressive top peak. It's not been a consistent theme, but this round it will be. Nitro, Stewie, and Naf all towards Banana. All the while, we've got Astralis with a pretty heavy presence towards brackets straight out the gate. They're smoked off, though. This will delay things inevitably, but they are not going to be deterred by this utility showing alone. We've got a lot of bodies starting to push past Twist. It's got an angle downwards. Gets just 1 kill and a little bit follow-up damage, but nothing more. It's traded evenly back and forth, and then Astralis take the lead. Device watching flank clears Stewie from the problem, and it is only Nafly left.
Yeah, man, they really faffed it up on the site. That smoke that went down, that smoke that went down just shy of Moto. I'm not sure if that was a smoke to help them reaggress, but it shrouded their own vision trying to fight. And there was a moment there, Twist could have been saved. The reason it was so good he got a kill and stayed alive just for an extra second is so that everybody that now has to turn their attention to balcony, the first apparent opponent, cannot turn around that easily. Like, Xipix doesn't have a threat there from the site. There's no one at single box. There's no one behind default. It's like people are rotating in from a site that they were defending from the jump. That's not a good sign. That definitely looked a little bit messier than it should have, and they ultimately had the right idea. Now, the reason that Astralis went to A was because Liquid went for bottom Banana control. So they immediately thought we conditioned them into being afraid of Banana. Now they're going all in. There's a situation where there's only going to be 2. There's only going to be 2 on the other side of the map. They were wrong about that, but they still won.
Here we go. A bit of a silver lining for Team Liquid. They've not found just 1 kill, but 2 with these pistols. Nitro procures an AK-47. A second weapon out of the hands of Liquid for the time being. So what do Astralis do here? They're going to clump themselves together to the top of Banana, function as a single cohort on the execution. And it's going to be even 3v3 because Elige has rotated towards CT spawn. Stewie goes charging forward, and that's going to cost him. Nitro still, that 1 AK is nowhere to be found. He's going to hold over on towards Pit. So even though those initial threats were real, Team Liquid doing a good job of picking up a couple of kills into the 3v5. Astralis still have the advantage over 4 of the Liquid players.
Definitely.
And you can see them exert that here towards B.
So curious about how this second half will go. It doesn't seem like Liquid are going to attempt this retake. I mean, if they get a freebie, maybe they move forward. If not, I'm sure Nitro is just waiting for the opportunity for someone to say save because, you know, he's got the, some would say, the best gun in the game. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be any frisky teas. Even riding high on all this confidence, being very careful in the post plant, and also getting one final kill before the round is officially concluded. And Nitro will go back into CT spawn and wait for new opponents. Again, problem at B. Glaive also turning up in a big way. Something I don't like to do is harp on individual performance until the map's over. I think that's, you know, that's probably an important thing to do. Well, Elige actually is, you know, short of a kill, which is maybe a problem. But you know what? Let's look at the ADR. Okay, there's no alternate scoreboard on this. Unfortunate.
Hold on, buddy. I got you.
That's the one thing that might be more important. Okay, 29 ADR. Okay, that didn't work out so well. But on the other side, I was thinking about Glaive, who was really lowly rated in the tournament so far.
Yes.
And he's at 65, so he did farm a little bit on that anti-eco. Device is the man who's still plowing at over 100 at the moment, so he's pretty much the saving grace. But we're into a new rifle. A player has already died, and it looks like Liquid are again exerting their dominance on Banana and trying to hold strong to it. Though they're only peering over the half wall at the moment.
Wave. Oh my goodness, supposed to get the best of Nitro. But Nitro's got quick fingers. Just like that, we've got Astralis on the back foot, 3v5. This time not versus one AK and a big collection of pistols, no, versus a full-fledged buy, including that double op setup. So this is the most difficult situation Astralis have had to deal with in the entirety of these first 10 rounds.
The highest round win percentage at a man disadvantage in all of Counter-Strike, right?
Yes.
3v5 would be one level deeper. But point stands.
Yes. You are still correct. No one can take that from you, Mo.
And look at this. They have 3 going into B. They have never lost more than 1.
Let's see. Stewie's got the high road, flashed fully. Nafly, he's sure enough going to pick one up. I believe that's right through smoke.
Yep.
Down goes Stu. Naf's going to have to double back over towards Coffins. The entirety of his team rotating through their spawn. A 4v2, you'd think, is in the bag, but we are talking about Astralis. And Zipex is still on the board.
And they have another smoke.
He's got that top rope position from Coffins, looks to load Liquid into it, sees the shadow, easy pickup, now it's 2v2. Remember, 2v4 from the get-go, both these teams hiding behind Barbecue. Dupree's position could very well go unchecked. And the counter-terrorists, they're just gonna try to cover the smoke. Neither, no, and now he's gonna wildly spray, but the player can't find the bomb. Twist has given it up. Twist, miss his chance to clutch, and that is 10 for Astralis.
I didn't even believe it. You know, I really didn't. I mean, it's, you know, 9 rounds in a row, you know, yeah, 3v5 situation, and there it is. They get in the site, they lose a single player, and that's been a pain point for Liquid. They haven't solved it. They throw the smoke to the bottom Banana, but they don't just follow up with that right hook as well. They don't stay down there. They don't force the fight in a different place, and it's just too comfortable for Astralis to have to deal with this. Wow. I mean, they were even fortunate to get that one. I mean, credit to Naf. He got the timing, and he clicked when he felt the time was right, but there's luck involved in that, and they had all the chances in the world to win that round.
That's the face of a 3-times major champion.
Buying what they can. And as much as they are trying to compartmentalize this loss, knowing that they're already expecting to not do that well on Inferno, and that if they won, as quote Naf, if they won, that would be amazing. You can still see Stewie, how tilted he is. You know,
right,
the fact that that's a round they should have won for just in the context of that round. In a vacuum, that round, fundamentally, we should have put that together.
Yep.
And that's, you know, obviously the right attitude to have. And I'm sure Naf is just like that as well, no matter what he says before and after.
Yeah, there's a huge difference in you know, just map result versus individual circumstance.
It'll
Like,
be difficult for them to
4v2
mentally
beats, come on.
totally skip this map.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. No matter how much you want to write it off, I mean, nobody likes getting bullied.
Yeah. No,
That's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
Team Liquid just
Big
getting
bullies.
walloped with a stick. Big Danish stick.
From Pimp's hot dog stand. Oh, ding dong. Happy.
Mathwise got the first one. That's going to bait them into Stewie's crosshair, but he gets nothing. More smoke spam, of course.
Why not?
Is he going to go one better? There's only 10 seconds for the plant. He could challenge the bomb planter. No, they're going to get it in. Punches in the digits. Zipex 1v3 versus Pistols. How's he going to play this one? Out in the open. First CT start to trickle past. Excellent flash. He's done for. That flashbang spelled his demise. And finally, Liquid arrive on the board, folks. It took 11 rounds, but they've done it, and they do it with only pistols.
Oh, man, yeah. And once again, like, you're like, oh, it's Zipix. But once again, they throw a great flash and blind, he can't shoot.
That's a good point. That's how he lost his last clutch.
Yeah,
attempt,
the last
right?
clutch, yeah.
We found is the solution. Poke his eyes out.
Use utility. Poke his eyes out, yeah. Yeah, Liquid put one together. I mean, they'll take it, man. We don't really need to talk about how it happened because we saw it did get a little bit messy and with that second kill. Yeah, let's go ahead and skip it.
Right. If we don't want to talk about how it's going to happen, should we talk about how it's bound to happen? At least once.
Sure.
Surely Astralis are going to fumble.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, they're human.
Are they?
Evidence, but not proof.
Here comes the push down mid. An aggressive stance from Liquid straight out the gate. Twists, turns back, and pops the head of debris. Can't go one further, though. The Opera will trade, however. So Nitro maintains the man advantage, and we're going to have Liquid retreat back into safety.
I don't remember the last time Zipix was just like sitting up in halls, just doing things you normally do on a default. It's been banana almost every single round. That is so much damage. That's so much damage. Alasia, as the pit player, is going to be absolutely targeted. Will also be less keen on rotating now. And although you aren't literally wounded, you know, you don't have like an appendage that's half falling off, and now you walk slower. You're mentally wounded. You feel less confident in making like hasty rotations or taking risks or walking into places you think nade damage would be. So all of that counts for something. And now he's a weak rotate player.
Ooh, there's a gap in that smoke, a big one. Nafly, it's not the best cover. It's better than nothing. First T, tagged down, Glaive into teens. Stewie in the smoke. Astralis in the bomb site. He's gonna just charge right through, stops the plant. That blind spam back from Zipex will still get the best of him, but the rest of Liquid starting to rotate over Alige. Last man to get into position as Nafly takes another head. Zipex the clutch attempt, and it is shut down. Team Liquid, second round on the board, still potentially gunning for 5.
They have to be really tricky, you know, real creative with the way that they're getting kills on B, but when all is said and done, they gotten 2 rounds off of the back of it. So I think, you know, they're relying kind of heavily on Naf at the moment. Like, Naf threw a great flash for Stewie to come out and peek and get that first kill. He also made sure to camp the bomb, maintain vision on it in a situation where he could be like, oh, I'm just going to wait for my teammates and we'll go for this, like, really safe retake. No, he found a prime opportunity to sit there. He knows Glaive had to come into his angle that he may or may not be still in, and made sure to take advantage of that fight. And that was very opportunistic. I like that. Now, we move into this next round. Alige gets eliminated immediately. Nitro, is he going to take it upon himself to make up for it? Doesn't seem so. Finds that to be too risky of a thought to free on the op. When do we see this?
Ooh, that's a narrow angle.
Wow. He must have seen that, yeah. Got him.
Returns his back. Spinal snap from Nitro.
That bomb needs to be recovered at some point, but
Got a minute, so no need to haste just yet.
who do we have left alone inside B site? Stewie.
2K.
Okay. And does he have an op? Yeah, he does. Okay, so this makes more sense. No, they've got the 3-1. Stewie's in a tough spot. Lots of utility left over. Not much retake utility. So Stewie dies. They're probably just going to save in the positions they're in. I think the way they look at it right now, we'll sit on these 2 ops. We'll not get too aggressive, and we'll save if it is going to be the B site and Stewie doesn't go miraculous.
5 by the smoke, had a chance at a shot, but didn't hit the mark. Fire goes behind him. He has to give up his angle.
Oh, they're coming in for it.
Very quickly, in fact. Nitro trying to line up the shot through smoke.
They've got a lot to lose here.
Clearing the top of the boxes in the site. And then tension blankets the server as nobody wants to make a move. Astralis like statues, stationary in their afterplant setup. The pressure's on Liquid to make their move. Flashbang's meant to activate it. Glaive hides back down by the barbecue. It's Stewie and Twist with the first 2 kills, and Glaive's now pinched, but they almost line up, and it's a successful retake from Liquid.
Oh my god, I honestly didn't think that was possible with the amount of utility that Astralis had. Well, I guess that works out. They got Stewie. They had 2 ops for the retake. They had no utility to work with. They let the time bleed down to more than half, but I guess they're really careful about their communication. There were only so many spots that Astralis could be in, and they slowly kind of calcified into those positions, and then finally, you know, came out with a great rifle play. Yeah. So yeah, I eat my words. Really, really well done. And somehow we're able to bait out that much of the utility from Astralis on that B exec, so they had nothing left in the post plant. An extra smoke on CT could have sealed the deal, but they didn't even have that. So now is that 3 in a row?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, that felt like the longest round that we've seen so far. And yeah, they pick up the 3. They've got a lot to work with. Astralis did so well with their money. They're still buying here. Was there a round where you wrote the map off ever? You don't have to be
first
on
10.
It. First 10. Okay, yeah, fair. I like that answer.
I feel like I, like Nafly, had written this off before it started.
Right. How can you be confident in someone who's not confident?
How can people believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Yeah, you got to put yourself on. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Strong dog. Rohan, Stewie just got eviscerated.
Yeah.
He didn't want to die. He didn't want to fight. He just wanted to leave Banana, and it's not going to happen. Not on his own accord, that is. He won't be walking out on his legs, but rather the body bag. 5v3, the T's closer to the site. Molotov, smokes, it's all going their way here for the plant as well. So I was thinking 5-10, worst case scenario for Liquid. Might not even get that.
No. Yeah. Looking at this, there's so much to change on Banana. Valuable game tape for Liquid, but not much more than that. But still, they go for the retake.
Yeah.
Quad is mollied out. Nitro moving in with the op, but that's not even necessary. Elige finds the first kill. And the other 2 on Banana are behind smokes.
He just got way better back at the site. Now, if Twist can just cut off everyone from Banana, then they could have just tried to stick defuse, but there's so many sets of eyes from Astralis off Banana that Liquid don't find their footing. Liquid don't have time. And it's Astralis to nab another round here towards the closing half of the first half. So the second quarter of 4 within this second half.
Let you run this drive, please. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, last round now, and you know what more is there to say? That like here, there's a couple of individual kind of highlights for Astralis. The way they jiggle peeked and then baited with the jump to kill the second player, but to kill Stewie was just a straight up like clean jiggle peek. Like that's not team play stuff necessarily. It's pretty simple stuff, or at least it's not high level stuff, right? But that's just been the tail of the tape on Banana for Liquid. You know, they're finding ways to die without being able to get trades, and they've got 2 like the most talented players to have to defend it. So something's clearly not working there, and it's really good that Astralis are just simply just bringing it back to basics every round. And like, listen, if you don't figure this out, I'm going to keep hitting you there, right? Just liver shot after liver shot after liver shot.
That aggressive bottom Banana stance taken by Stewie is given up. Doesn't want to stick around too long on his own. But what does that leave us with? What sort of setup? Well, Nitro takes his position instead. That Molotov would have completely countered Stewie. So good thing he evacuated the site. Nitro still looks for his angle as the T's do congregate towards him. Catches Glaive just through the edge. Despite taking a bit of chip damage from the frag grenades that gave chase, he does still get away. Posts up for another attempt. Ooh, but a great flashbang almost cost him his life. He's on 17 health as Stewie doubles back in to try and help his IGL. And there you have it. The two of them combined for an excellent hold in the closing 30 seconds of the final round in the first 15. Magisk looking to tear forward, charge through, and yet they've only found one. Stewie 2K comes in for another attempt. 15 seconds left, and Magisk, well, he doesn't even have bomb. He doesn't even have time. Down he goes as Liquid secure the fourth, an 11-4 score at the end of the first 15.
It's something, if only small, and it's cool that it ended on a note with Liquid solving their main issue, which was kind of getting kills in sustainable ways, and they did find a way to do that there. It didn't come down to kind of fighting all the way through Banana. But again, you know, that half has passed us now. We'll move into the second. We'll talk about both, well, Astralis' CT side, which is going to be amazing, and then also Liquid and how maybe confident and clear-headed they feel in this half. And there's definitely a chance it could all click. This is, again, this is a map they could make anyone else look stupid on, just not Astralis. So here we are into the second half, folks. It's map 2. A miraculous almost comeback, if you could call it that, on Dust 2 from Liquid in the first game, from a 13-10 that Astralis had over them, to winning their map pick. And now we move into Inferno, a map that they didn't feel so comfortable on. There's overpass ahead if Astralis are able to take this home, but this one's not done until we get to 16. So until that point, you know, we're going round by round.
Lots of pressure on the pistol. Team Liquid are going to embrace that with both hands. 4 T's up Banana. We did have Zipex posted closer at the beginning of the round, but he falls back when he feels that pressure and calls for Glaive to come join him. 2 dedicated defenders to the B site. Device floating in library with Dupree on porch side and Magisk above pit.
Astralis take the first pistol of the game. And Liquid to employ the same pistol strat.
Magisk unchecked. Get himself 1 kill. Dupree gets a team kill in the midst of it, and then just after that, Elysian Naf connect the Glocks.
That wasn't just a funny team kill, that was a
serious one.
Kill. Yeah, no, I mean, that was the crossfire.
Oh, Nelly. Okay. It's not over yet. They'll have that smoke grenade to nullify Pit. It's going to give him a chance to duel with the players in the bomb site. Sure enough, Zipex takes ahead of his own. Glaive, 1v2. We've got Nitro just playing the pillar to a T at the moment. No kit on Glaive and no head either. Elige will execute. A bit of a saving grace, as we saw no one from Liquid able to best Magisk, but Dupree sure did.
Round by round, this looks less daunting. That was, again, like, you can't look at this pistol, this shot, any differently than just being so important. And you know, Dupree, we see the blue outline. For him, he's barely seeing 2 or 3 models off the corner of his screen. It just so happens to be a very important part of that hold, and it looked like things were going swimmingly. The first 2 kills go their way, and Liquid can't hold the candle to Astralis' strat. But then after that, it falls apart, and we move now into an anti-eco, but this time it's for Liquid. A bunch of players here at the bottom of Banana starting to work their way up. Expect them to kind of meander at the top of Banana as they work other parts of the map simultaneously, and then try to get a read on rotations. You know, not get any concrete proof, but just some evidence that players have moved before they make a decision.
Cusp of brackets on the cusp of B site. Team Liquid so close to their targets, but not yet gunning forward. They'll get themselves 2 kills, sure enough. Magisk can't get anything done from porch, and therefore 5v2. Stu can leave the B site. No need to overextend and offer up his life, because A is entirely clear. They know it. Glaive and Device will just tuck their tails and hope to save the pistols that they hold.
Liquid building brick by brick. They put together an anti-eco. Lots of, almost, I mean, every player alive so far. It looks like it's going to continue to be that way. And, you know, big boy rounds is going to be coming up. We'll have another chance here for Liquid to line their pockets, right?
With money.
With money, if that wasn't clear. And then if they lose a rifle round, it's not the end of the world. But it's really going to be about those really hefty rifle rounds where Astralis have just got like that full Batman utility belt to work with, where we'll really see a challenge come out of them. Liquid hunting down these last few kills, so the armor can't be recycled. It is a fair amount of money. A very nice spray from Glaive to catch that, a jumping nav.
Oh, nope, not gonna happen. Thought for a moment maybe the smoke would be the difference, but Elige will go over, pick up some tidbits of utility. Move Liquid to a 5-round deficit now. They start this half, 2 rounds in the bag. Third one, you'd think, up next.
A little bit more difficult on the CT side to funnel all those kills into your SMGs. On the T side, they can lead the way with them, so you can specifically kind of orbit around getting your SMGs up front, where everybody else will lag behind. And make sure you get the most amount of money possible. It is just USPs, so every kill that's lost to these USPs is tragic. And any smart team is tense, even in this situation, to make sure they come out clean. Look at that angle.
I don't want to, it's gross.
It's insane.
It's cheesy. Okay, Nitro. That could be a real wrench in the works. Enables the wraparound onto the A site, and what's the defense in the form of? Dupree within it, Device on pit. Nitro's charging forward. Easy first kill. Device has gone unchecked for the time being, but there you have it. Naf just Goomba stomps him. And a 5v3 with just USPs left over.
Some information seems to have exchanged hands. It looked like Elige may have heard something of 3 players leaving the site unsure. Yeah, bomb goes down though, which is important. It's going to be difficult for Astralis to catch rotation. Now, the only thing to maybe point out for people who don't know, the idea behind a split, the reason that you don't go 5 up into a site is because you want to compromise positions. So if you have, in that situation, Nitro, he's all alone. Yeah, if he dies, that would be terrible. But the value you get from him wrapping Arch alone is that now suddenly there's a lot of spots in pit, on the site, in graveyard that can't be stood in without exposing your back to somebody else. And that's why, you know, you would send someone out on a solo mission like that. That's kind of the method behind the madness in that instance. And that is something that we'll see more often, even on the full execs on these rounds. Liquid have a very good 3 Arch, 1 lane, 1 halls exec that they like to do on A. And that'll be nice to see because we saw so much B attention from Astralis in that last half.
Let's turn the page on this one.
There was almost no Hall's presence apart from Antico's, nothing to talk about.
Yeah, every once in a while you get Zipex, but not very often.
A series of banana plays and adjustments.
Here we go, first gun round of the second half. Astralis fully equipped. No op in play. A couple SMGs still floating around, keep your eyes on them. Their own Molotov extinguished by their smoke. Enables the Arch play. With that deep library smoke as well, they have full access to the CT spawn. This is so much pressure on Glaive because there's nobody else inside of the B bomb site, and he has players just charging straight for him. Now, Device is going to do one good. Does catch Elige, twists, trades, and there is another player here. In fact, there's 2 CTs behind them on library, and Glaive in the midst of it all. Debris and Glaive again. Magisk seals the deal. Where does this come from?
Whoa, they were doing things so well. They moved so quickly. They had Glaive on the back foot. He almost left too late with how fast they were moving, but then they, for no reason, kind of stopped in CT spawn because they were potentially worried that, you know, their play was understood.
Yeah.
They didn't want to cross into an angle, get op by Device, for example, or somebody else. I don't know if they killed Device who had an op in that situation. But yeah, they had it open. They got Arch control so easily, so quickly, got into CT spawn. It's kind of a trek to go all the way up Speedway, but they did that in record-breaking time and then just didn't continue. They didn't follow through. Maybe just a little bit less confident, hadn't done it enough times, and that's where maybe the inexperience is showing.
And gave Glaive a good 10 seconds to reposition. Even though at no point was Glaive in an advantageous position, he at least always knew exactly what was coming his way.
Yeah.
You know, because he was given that amount of time to figure out the numbers. They stalled, they were spotted. Where would the other remaining members be? Of course, Banana, and sure enough, he clears them both. You know, he's standing here in no man's land when they just come charging forward.
No. And that being said, he made the most of a bag of coal. He was up there at the top of Banana and in a tough off angle and took down 2 players very easily. Fantastic shooting from him, so important to highlight that. But A little too late here for Liquid to mess up in those situations. 7-12, and Astralis are already off to a fast start into this round. They've knocked down 2 for the price of 1. And now with the 3 remaining Ps, we're going to have an A hit come out. Double pit setup, both behind smokes.
It's going to be really hard for Liquid to get these guys out of here. They could just prioritize the plant. But in doing so, that's going to allow Astralis to just rotate their players over.
What was that?
Twists and Nitro just clear them out right thereafter. I mean, Twist, come on.
Yo, wow.
What kind of magic is this kid working with?
I don't know. I'd like some. I'd eat it. Put it on my nose. Don't know how I would use it. Never seen it before, but yeah, he's got the sauce for sure.
Damn.
That was a good shot.
Let's cue that one to the replays, because I mean that's a game. What the tangent I was going to go on to was that even if they get that bomb plant, your pit players can just hold positions and either A, force Liquid to extend into their crosshairs to try and force them out, or B, just stay alive long enough for the B players to come join them, and then you're on a retake with players already in, like, you know, the crucifix position. The counter to site control is pit.
Yeah.
But I mean, or you can just spray through the wall and smoke.
Sure.
That's a solution.
Yeah, I mean, they cleared everything else out.
Yeah,
this was just amazing muscle memory, right, by Twist.
Knows the angle.
Yeah, he just knows the angle. And we honestly all do. We just sometimes don't trust ourselves. I think that's definitely a message to people who are afraid to, like, show presence or, like, spam a smoke or something. If you play thousands of hours, you almost certainly know those shots, you know. You smoke or not, eyes open or not, you could probably hit them if you tried. Now, it's one of the it's actually a force up from, sorry, it's a half buy from Astralis. Don't want to mischaracterize this. They did save those 2 guns, but it is a round where Liquid are probably pretty clear on what they're going to be going up against, a mixed bag. So they did that, and that also balanced out the win percentage of man disadvantaged rounds that Astralis took 1 from them in the first half with, in that 3v5 on Banana. Device is going to have some pressure put on him.
Good shade frag.
Yeah, Magisk is the only martyr.
Liege, between a rock and a hard place, luckily has Naf to bail him out. Glaive off arch side.
Disgusting.
He's just going to fall back through smoke. Device, he has tagged himself, but he does have a good position in pit. And Nafly doesn't thoroughly clear his corner, so now these last 2 Ts could line up for Device, but no, not all of them do. Stu has bomb and the plant on top of it.
He doesn't know how much time he has, so he doesn't know if he can leave the site or if he has to push one angle. If he assumes correctly, one person's lagging behind. He doesn't know if they're going to split up on the attack. He's going to pick an angle. He's going to hope that's the angle first. He might listen for utility, and once he takes a shot, that's when it becomes real.
They're both coming. There's a bit of a delay between Zipbex. There's the first one. Can Stewie predict the second? Doesn't seem so. Repositions into cover, and Zipbex trade frags to the success of Astralis. A 13th round, a 5-round lead. And finally, they break that spree. It was Liquid, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and there's the mental gamble. He just assumes they're going to split up, immediately turns his attention to Arch, to make sure that if there is a person there, he trades. And it's a 50-50 on Astralis' side, 50-50 for Stewie mentally, makes the wrong gamble, and Zipbex comes out for another 1v1. Much more freer than he's used to, but a really good trade nonetheless. Pretty good attempt here, but actually this was just a half buy. I mean, they invested in some armor and pistols, and they retained a couple of guns from that previous round.
Yes.
So the investment wasn't high, but they did still have good weaponry. Tough round to lose, obviously. You see Stewie is going to have to take that one on the chin, move forward 1 round at a time. If it came that close before, that means you've still got a chance in basically every round. There's a lot for Astralis to play with. Not really a huge shame to lose that. But you know, it's going to be a game of inches. So giving up an advantage like that might be 1 too many.
It's not the first round either where they've had like some substantial footing or a substantial advantage that slipped past.
Sure.
I think of the 4v2 towards B site in the first 15.
Yeah.
You know, those rounds is what makes the difference between this 13 and 8 scoreline.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's true.
It's all gonna, I'm sure, be in the back of their minds, but hopefully deep in the depths. You know.
Yeah.
Remind yourselves, like you said, round by round, piece by piece, kill by kill,
brick by brick, ounce by ounce. Mac 10 for Stewie. Low in utility, almost everybody. People buying down to 0.
Running out of options, running out of time, running out of wiggle room. Glaive, easy 2K. He's even gonna bag himself a third. They just feed themselves into the M4. Device rattles off the op, doesn't hit his mark. Stewie retreats off the back of this with the bomb carrier in the form of Naf.
Can't even tell if they're going through Astralis' smoke or their own smoke that slightly missed. It was a jumble. It was a jambalaya. There's all kinds of things in there, and all those things went wrong. That looked pretty terrible for Liquid, from Liquid's perspective. Ooh. But for Glaive, once again, he's there, he does his job, right? He meets you there, and he puts in the work.
Bro, there's a chance here.
Uh-huh.
Stewie 2K just needs to crack open that pit, because the closest player for Astralis is going to be Glaive on Arch with Zipex near him. So if Stewie and Naf can find the timing versus Magisk 2v1, then they would have had a plant off the back of it. But with 30 seconds, we've got Glaive and Zipex shuffling over, one of which has been caught. Now Stewie's looking to join Naf as they rotate back to B. And Device.
You heard him call the audible.
Yep. Device is going to double back towards Coffin side. This is going to come down to Device. He can stop this with just a couple op shots or a Molotov.
Oh,
he's looking for the alternative plant. There's the first one. Stewie peeks into it. Nafly, he will get this plant off and a chance at a 1v3. This started 2v5, and it's left us here now. But Naf, with a Glock in hand, he's going to swap back to the SG for the win in the duel, but it costs him so much health. Down to 29, and a player taps bomb, elicits the peek, and costs him the clutch.
Terribly difficult.
That right there is 14 for Astralis.
Yeah. Terribly difficult for him to be able to win that. Device places Molotov so nicely. I mean, it was just front sight, so it was like, Rail Plant can't come out, but he's like, all right, I can't cover everything, but if somebody wants to come out and perform the standard clear, they might jump over and look across. And Device pushes Stewie in a position to use himself as a meat shield, obviously, because if the bomb if the bomb planter is killed, then it's all over. But like you said, there was actually a chance, and Stewie cleaned up a kill. It wasn't the pit kill, but there was an interesting rotation back to B instead that almost brought it back. But again, a game of inches, and Astralis are way more accustomed to those situations.
To explain Naf's play and why he runs down Banana with his walkout, he actually said in all chat after, because Astralis said, dude, what are you doing? And he said, 1v3? Nah, I was going to save. He just planted bomb and he ejects out of the site. Didn't even want to play for the clutch.
No, he was joking.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one would ever do that.
It's not
but
bro.
I think he might have not had a lot of bullets in his SG. Okay. Or he's just trying to get somewhere faster.
Mind game. Glaive, Arch side versus these upgraded pistol arrows. Easy two-piece. Who's next? Should be Nitro. Because we've got Stewie and Naf trying to challenge the opposite side. Ooh, nobody successful in their endeavor other than Astralis through and through. 4 frags, just Stu. Cut down as the last. Astralis securing map point. 7 map points, in fact, to work with before we will move to overpass. Or at least so it seems.
Might be better to end it earlier than later.
Yeah, don't invest the effort.
You know, we do take all those close rounds and put them in Liquid's favor, then yeah, they win, but you can't do that with Astralis because they always win those rounds. So it's like, it's not really 50-50 when it's against them. And yeah, I mean, stamina-wise, right? You know, it's not a marathon, it's a best of 3, but it has felt like a dragger. I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, it must be mentally taxing to go through all of these situations and protocols versus a team that just like can go through every single detail to get you killed, and then do that for so many rounds in a row, and then go 2 maps in, and then think about bringing it all on your 3rd map as well. So there definitely might be benefits in that situation.
Oh my God, he's blind. Normally that stops the Astralis bots, but I mean in like a Terminator form, not, you know, negative connotation.
Right.
Like kill bots.
Right, yeah.
To be clear.
Really good ones.
Uncontested on Inferno yet again, so it seems. There have been openings, there have been chances. There's also been a whirlwind of success here for the Danes. So, Team Liquid, gonna try and keep it simple. Hit that B bomb site, challenge both Zipex and Glaive in what would be the 4v2. Utility coming out of Astralis here is actually near non-existent. 1 smoke for Zip, nothing on Glaive. There's that smoke, and they're gonna run through it. Zipex ready for the push. Glaive takes the high road. Stewie trades back, and now he's gonna have to clutch. Clearing Zipex first and foremost with 30 seconds left over, and another CT hot on his heels. Now he clears the bomb site, and he's gonna go for the plant. Such low health, however. Flashbang and a kit on Magisk. Got Magisk coming in from Banana. Stewie could just peek up and take that duel. He does. The damage is there. And oh my, almost the kill. 10 HP to make the difference. And Stewie's not going to run and hide. Looks to rather hold the line, challenges the bomb site, spamming through will cost him. It's Device to get the best of it, Astralis to best Liquid, and we folks have been pushed to the third map of this grand finals.
Yeah.
Overpass up next.
Yeah, the score doesn't necessarily do it justice with how much effort that Liquid put in, but they did dig their own grave in the first half, losing those first 10 rounds in a row, and obviously never solving that very, not simple problem, but very kind of static problem of not being able to hold on Banana or be able to put together these holds on Banana that could have given them the more sustainable rounds and not having to have had relied on these clutch situations or these kind of risky 1v2s to go in their favor. So overall, you know, Astralis just basically slightly outplayed them all the way through, and it's exactly what most of us expected.
Most certainly played them through it. I mean, you know, we started to talk about how this could become the comeback, but let's be real. Like you said, 10-0 start to Astralis. We get 4 of the last 5 rounds in the first half, and then it's a pistol conversion, a little exchange of rounds, and then 4 straight from Astralis. So at no point was Liquid ever in this map.
Right.
And they didn't expect to be. We didn't expect them to be. If ever they were going to have a chance at not just winning one map, but this entire series, Inferno should not have been a part of that. Even Naf said it himself. If we win Inferno, that is miraculous. So, folks, Overpass next. We're going to see you guys there.